Hey everyone, it's Meryl here from Subcinctus Consulting, and I'd really like to chat to you today about three common issues that businesses face in terms of their business culture and their relationships. And so these are the three issues that I find that are most likely to be the source of why a business is stuck in a particular culture and the way that they do things. Obviously, we're concentrating on three most negative sources of why a business is the way it is. And so I'd like to talk about the three issues, but also the three solutions, or more suggestions really, around how you might change your approach to the way you do certain things. So let's begin, I guess. So the first issue is an issue around mindset. Most commonly, we think about what we need. What is it that I want from this situation? What impact am I going to feel if we decide to go with action A? So obviously that's our instinctive way of thinking for the most part, but how do we change that to a thinking around we? Because in a business, it's not just about us, it's about everybody. It's about the other teams, it's about the other individuals. And so how do we work together as a business? So how does the engineering team work in collaboration or make decisions that are also going to benefit the planning team and not just the engineering team? So that's a thinking of we rather than me. And so that's one really important issue to think about. The next one is about trust. So trust is important in any relationship, and it's the same with business. So are you feeling distrust towards a certain person or a certain area in your business or a certain group of people? And what is that issue bringing up for yourself? Because often when we're distrusting someone or a situation, it's also bringing up some personal issues for ourselves or some personal concerns for ourselves. And so what does that bring up for you? And I guess that helps you then think about whether that trust or distrust, is justified or actually misplaced. So really important to kind of address that often as you can. And yep, that's the second issue that I've noticed often in businesses. And the third one that I feel is also really important in defining a way a business operates is communication, or more specifically, poor communication. Obviously it's relationships 101. How do we express to each other how we're feeling and what expectations do we have? So it's really important to recognize each other's feelings in a situation, be open to being wrong. It's important to recognize. Rewards and recognition programs are in a lot of businesses, and they're great programs, but often we can forget to do that on a day-to-day basis. So, saying thank you and actually recognizing someone's achievements and success. And you know what, even if there's failures, it's good to talk about them and understand why a particular thing happened the way it did and how we might be able to address it in the future. So that's the third issue that I wanted to address today. And so those issues are the three that I find are the biggest reasons for why a business has a particular culture. Business culture is beyond their vision and mission. It's to do with, it's at the core of a business in their way of thinking and therefore their way of acting. And so their way of acting creates a certain culture, and it's how they then have relationships, whether that's the relationships with each other in the business, or their relationships with their clients, or the relationships with the community. So business culture is really a key part of how we view a business as an outsider as well. And so addressing these issues are a really important way of overcoming some of the limiting beliefs or the limiting behaviors that a business might have intertwined into its culture. And so some of the suggestions that I've thought of and believe are really important is one, business date night. So celebrating our achievements periodically and quite strictly. So whether that's through a team meeting or the monthly gathering, celebrating the achievements and failures, because for me, failure is not exactly as negative as we have often viewed the word. A failure is an opportunity to learn. I'm starting my own business. I'm failing every now and then, and I welcome those failures because it's an opportunity for me to learn. So celebrating those failures and those achievements, that's a really great way to have a business date night. The next thing is, how do we spice things up? And so some of the ways that we can spice things up from business as usual is saying yes more. Let somebody who has a really great idea, or even in their eyes is great and you're not so sure about it, say yes. Let them have a chance to run with that idea and take it to victory. And look, even if they don't, we've at least understood why that particular idea is not a good idea, or maybe that idea was not implemented the way it could have been done better. So say yes more. Have an open mic session. So let somebody share a success story and take the time to listen and appreciate their effort. The way it's different from, say, a business date night is a business date night might be more applicable to you and your team, and the way that you guys are communicating more on a casual basis. But an open mic could be something more official, maybe at the group meetings or group strategy sessions that you're having as a business. So that's a really great opportunity to spice things up and ultimately be adventurous. These things are a little bit more adventurous because we're not just talking about success, we're talking about failures, and we're talking about taking risks, letting ideas grow, and nurturing people with the opportunity to take an idea to the next level. So be adventurous and take good risks. There's plenty of risks out there that might be a bit too scary and a bit too big, but start with the small risks and step that up. And so finally, my third suggestion is destroy and innovate. We're in a society where destruction and innovation, renewing things is really part of the ethos. More and more people are moving away from their conventional ways of doing things, whether it's through their work, in their careers, it's through their hobbies or their relationships. They're moving away from even the way, I should add more examples in there, but even the way we educate young people, we're moving away from the old way of doing things and considering new and innovative ways to do things. So we're really destroying the old way of doing things. And so that's really important. And I guess 3 action items in terms of how we might be able to destroy and innovate in a business setting is, one is to have more failures, because excellent failures are far more beneficial than mediocre successes. So don't concentrate too much on only having the successes, because a success is great, but big failures teach us many wonderful things and help us know what's right, what's wrong for our business, what can we do differently, and it actually opens up the door to much greater successes. So one is to fail more frequently. The next is embrace our rogue employees, the ones who question things, the ones who are always speaking up at meetings. Embrace those people, because they're the people that are going against the grain of normal, and they're the ones that are forcing us to think of things differently. So take the time to listen to those people, because they're the ones that are really hungry for leveling up. So that's my second suggestion. And so finally, a way to destroy and innovate is to ignore uncertainty and embrace change. And that's similar to letting our rogue employees speak up and listening to what they have to say, right? But this is more in the context of other areas of business. So tenders, for example, ignore the uncertainty that you may have around a particular tender because you've never really done anything in, say, climate resilience before, but your firm is a technical firm, you've done stuff in the area of sustainability, you understand energy usage, water usage. Resilience is that next step, for example. Okay, so ignore the uncertainty around the fact that you've never responded to a tender before, providing a resilience plan, and take a chance. You put your name out there, even if you're not the incumbent. That's okay, because they see your name come up. It's an investment cost on your part as a business, but they see your name come up, and even if you're in the top 10% of likely candidates or proponents, it's an opportunity. Write it off as a learning cost. So, because if we're not embracing change and we're not ignoring all of that uncertainty around us, because we're never going to know for sure what the future outcome is, if we're not embracing that change, we're going to face the very likely outcome of becoming irrelevant. And who wants to be irrelevant? Everybody wants to be remembered. So yeah, embrace change. That's my final tip under the destroy and innovate suggestion. So these are my 3 issues and 3 suggestions tip video. So I'd love for you to let me know what you thought about that. And if that was something that was helpful for you, please let me know. I'd love to understand more about what you're doing in your business, whether these are things that you're already doing or these are things you are in part doing and would like to really level up in some of these areas. So please do connect. Thank you everybody for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your day or your weeks, wherever you are.